Welcome, football fans. Buckle up for another hard-hitting episode of Player 54 Podcast, an independent show focused solely on alternative and opportunity football. From a sunny Southwest Florida studio, here is your host, Michael Lathrop.
Hello, football fans. This is episode 119, The Return. The show's 6-month hiatus is finally over. After taking a much-needed break to handle important family matters, it is great to be back in the saddle and create football-related content once again. So much has happened since our last episode back in April. I'm not even going to try to play catch-up. It is just best to move forward. As you can see, Player 54 Podcast is going through a transition. In the coming episodes, I will continue to incorporate new aspects to the broadcast, which is now available as a podcast and videocast. The volatility of spring football makes being a dedicated show to a single league a bit challenging and risky. So moving forward, the show will expand its coverage to encompass an array of alternative and opportunity football. As for today's show, I will not be diving into the latest news or reports. We are, however, blessed to have quarterback Ivory Durham IV returning to discuss his career's progression and the opportunity with the Alabama Beavers of the International Football League. So, I won't waste any time. We'll get right to it. Welcome back, Ivory. I appreciate you taking the time to return to the show, allowing us the opportunity to not only catch up, but to catch up on your progression of your career.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Believe it or not, it has been a year and change since you have graced this show in the podcast format. So much has changed since then.
Yes,
XFL, USFL merged to create the United Football League. Like I mentioned earlier, this show took a hiatus, and now it's back as a video cast. There's just so much going on. It's just really the tip of the iceberg. So before we dive into those IFA developments, how have you been?
Mentally, I've been great. Physically, I've been great. Just enjoying life, taking it day by day, living in the moment pretty much. And just whatever the Lord has for me is pretty much it's his plan, and I'm just following. So I'm just taking it day by day, like I said, and enjoying life.
So before we dive into the whole IFA and those things, where have you been at football-wise? I mean, you're great, but, a year, that's a lot of in-between time, right? So before you were going through the XFL path, trying to make it there, and then the merger kind of came about. So, I mean, I know before that you were up in Edmonton trying to get with the Elks in the Canadian Football League and stuff. So, I mean, what has the past year football-wise looked like for you?
So football-wise, for the past year, as you know, I went to the XFL Combine. I did pretty great there. Talked to the DC Defenders. Everything was going pretty smooth. They wanted me to come out there for a private workout, and then, like we said, the merge came. So it was kind of everything was on pause. Had no contact from no one. They just told me stay in shape and keep working out, and they'll contact me if anything changes. So it was kind of just like a blank period at that time, and I've just been working out for the past year, just steady working out, throwing about 3 times a week in the weight room, pretty much, and just working on my craft. But yes, it's been a lot going on, and I'm just blessed to even stay level-headed and just continue to grow, just spiritually, mentally, and physically at the end of the day.
So what did the day look like, the breakdown? I mean, you got to eat, so you got to make income. So, I mean, you're trying to keep yourself, in shape on a phone call's notice, right, to go show up and work out someplace. So what were your days looking like?
So pretty much I'm waking up. Of course, I'm having to go to work pretty much. I'm working, and as soon as I get off the clock, I'm pretty much going to work out ASAP, hitting a field or hitting a gym, going with some receivers local in the area, and pretty much try to work out at least in the morning, and then pretty much after work and just staying in shape. I think the biggest part is you don't know when you're going to get a call. So it's like you got to stay level headed, stay humble, and at the end of the day, you got to stay working out. You got to stay in shape. So it can happen anywhere, anytime. So I guess that's the tricky part about it. But you have to be disciplined, self-disciplined, and it makes sure you stand on your craft.
You know, Ivory, so many people say, I'm ready. And, you know, they
That's
say that
true.
all the time. I mean, I can't
That's
tell you how
true.
many times I see people posting that. I can't see how many people or end up DMing me or whatever. It's like all the time. I'm ready. I just need, but there is a difference, right? I mean, to some extent. I mean, you think you're
Yeah.
ready. How do you really push yourself to the point that, because that phone call comes, it could have been just the one span of 3-4 days. You
And you
kind of
taking off.
in regard, right? So I mean, like, how do you really keep that motivation the whole time? Because those phone calls are not coming, those tryouts are not coming regularly. So how did you keep like your mental edge? I mean, faith. I know you're a man of faith, and that's a big part of it, and probably just your support system around you with family, friends, and whatnot. But I mean, how do you personally just keep that grind going?
I would say, like you said, it's probably 100%. Of course, it's faith. But if you have a dream, and I tell a lot of little kids, I went to go talk to the kids last week at an elementary school. But if you have a dream and you believe in that dream, you got to stay motivated. There's really no plan B at the end of the day. You always have to just find ways to, I would say, maneuver around, but it's really no plan B. So for me, it's just to stay motivated. Is my motivation is that I want my plan A to always be my plan A. So it's not going nowhere. I'm always going to have. I know what I can do. All I need is opportunity. So I guess that would be the main thing. Just sticking to who you are and believing in your dream and your goal, pretty much.
All right, let's talk about that dream, right? Becoming a little bit closer to reality.
Mm-hmm.
So back in April, the new Alabama Beavers of the International Football Alliance announced you as an official addition to participate in camp, as well as a projected to become first player to ink a deal to join the Beavers roster. You know, all these words were mumbled jumbled, and so, I mean, I get it. Again, the team did it in August, with a
Mm-hmm.
posted graphic welcoming you to join a quarterback room that included official camp invite.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a new league, new team, and information is slowly becoming available to people that
Yes.
have been, whether it's media people, potential fans, potential sponsors that are kind of get intrigued. Why don't you take a moment and just share how this opportunity came about and your Alabama Beavers / IFA experience
Mm-hmm.
today?
So pretty much, I reached out. I seen on Twitter that there was a new league coming. I DM'd the coach, CJ Drinker, and we kind of hit it off. He watched my highlights. He gave me a call, wanted to invite me to camp, and I said, okay, I'm ready to go, pretty much. And I've just been looking up pretty much what the new league is, pretty much how it's evolving and everything. Like you said, that was in April. Now it's really expanding. It's getting out more news each and every day. Our schedule just came out a couple of days ago. So it's pretty much, it's a new league, of course, so everything's going to take time. You just have to have faith and just pretty much trust the process at the end of the day. But I pretty much came to a practice. We had pretty much a workout or two, and I pretty much did pretty good there. Coaches were great, players were great. So we've just been taking, like I said, day by day. And that's pretty much how that came about. I feel like this is going to be a good league just for people to really get an opportunity to get back to the next level.
It's interesting. You mentioned Coach Trinkard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we're seeing out there is general manager CJ Drinkard.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from him, that is one of the major questions I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Beavers staff is kind of been a well-kept secret. So I'm not here to put pressure on you, divulging anything that could potentially get you into trouble. Okay, so
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
don't do that.
Gotcha.
But what could you tell us about the staff, right? You can omit names, that's fine. But what can you tell us about the staff? Is it fully established?
I definitely
Currently
say
working on playbooks, stuff like that. I mean, because you're into it now, right?
Yeah,
You get to
definitely,
see a
definitely.
number of things. So I'm just kind of curious. We see a bunch of other teams announcing head coaches, positional coaches. So what could you just tell us without putting yourself in the hot water about the Alabama?
Well, what I could say is a lot of things going on behind the scenes, of course, like you said, pretty much not putting everything out there officially yet. It's a lot of stuff that I don't know and I don't have control of, or I'm just behind the scenes, like I said. But we have a great staff. I would say offense is going to be very good. Defense is going to be pretty aggressive and everything. But yeah, the staff is pretty good. I definitely would say that. We've been having meetings and everything, so everything is definitely on the upside of it, I would say, and it's going pretty smooth.
So not a whole lot, but we know things are in place, and
Yes,
get
definitely.
it. Things we hear the term are fluid all the time in
Hmm.
spring or alternative football. So we get it. Nothing's ironclad. It's not the National Football League, and even then, things could
Yeah.
change in the middle of the season. So I get it. I'm just curious because things are obviously moving forward. The Beavers are publicizing several roster additions, uh,
Hmm.
among them some receiving options. Just to mention a few that have been posted out there: Jimmy Stoudemire, Todd Simmons Jr., Rashad
Hmm.
Nelson. During these mini camps, because I mean, there's photos out there, there's a little bit of
Yeah.
video out there slinging the ball. We're just not seeing who you're throwing it to. So
Yeah.
during these mini camps, so to speak, have you had an opportunity to work with any of these teammates of yours, or obviously guys that are probably in the mix to potentially receive offers?
Well, yeah, me and Rashad Nelson, as you mentioned, we actually live close by, so we pretty much throw at least 3 times a week, like I was saying. And I met him when I actually moved to Huntsville because I was already in Huntsville, actually. So it was a blessing that the team got moved to Huntsville. But Rashad Nelson is definitely going to be a big target for me, and he's going to be electrifying, definitely.
Well, good deal. Chemistry,
Yeah.
that's always seems to be a key component, right? I mean, obviously, you just can't. How often do we see these quarterbacks in the National Football League get picked up off the couch, so to speak? And not everyone pulls off a Joe Flacco with the
Hmm.
Cleveland Browns last year and just starts leading them right into the playoffs. That's not the norm. So I get it. Like it's pretty important. So I mean, there's time, no doubt. It's not like the season starts or camp starts here in a week or two. So there is plenty of time. So so far, the Beavers have been focused on evaluating talent. They've conducted the IFA's first trade. That's how Simmons came on over from, I guess his rights were owned by Baltimore and
Hmm.
acquired him. And they've invited players and held and held them, those camps. The
Hmm.
IFA draft is scheduled for March 21st. So there's some time for that. With training camp to be followed right at shortly after
Hmm.
before the league kicks off in May 31st, which I believe it's you guys versus the Tampa Tornadoes. So
Yes, sir.
um, it's kind of a place in with drafts and camps you have to come in, and we've seen so much with this alternative football space how things are always very the contracts are not in place to a certain point. What does that? I mean, luckily you live in Huntsville, but I mean, what
Yeah.
does that do with you? I mean, it's probably a weird contract status situation. So I don't know how you feel comfortable talking about that, but I mean,
Hmm.
you're putting in the work. I see it. You're doing the team thing and
Hmm.
whatnot. So I mean, what does that do for you? Is it kind of a good faith situation?
Like I said, it's pretty much like a good faith. I'm just really just blessed to have an opportunity to play football again and show pretty much the scouts what I can do. Pretty much just gonna let that handle itself at the end of the day because, like I said, everyone's not blessed to have the opportunity to play this game that we all love. So, like I said, I'm just gonna take it day by day, and when it gets here, it gets here, and we'll handle it then. But I'm really not focused on all that. I'm just really just focused on getting on the grass and having some fun and playing football.
Well, that's what it's all about. Anyone that's played it from a kid, it wasn't
Hmm.
about the money when you were a kid. I was a high school athlete, college athlete, and I was never blessed to really make any money off my talents. But it is what it is. You go
Yeah.
through and you just do your grind. college is totally different now with NIL, and people are able now to make more than a penny, now, uh,
Yes.
before they have to worry about turning pro, so to speak. And I get it. It's the passion. You're playing it for the right reasons, and good
Mhm.
for you. But it's still, it still can be tough because
Oh yeah,
like
definitely,
everybody
definitely.
else, you got to eat, man. You got to keep a roof
Yeah,
over your
definitely,
head, and yeah.
definitely. Right
So
about that.
it's definitely something I think that becomes more of a struggle for some folks. They
Hmm.
want to play, the passion's there, but sometimes they have to, seek other means, unfortunately, and not be able to pursue it. But good for you, really good for you. You know, I mentioned you've been doing a lot of team things.
Hmm.
So if anyone goes on social media, whatever the channels are, they'll see some of the posts and stuff that include you. So back in June, I noticed the Beavers posted some video footage of you getting mic'd up.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sir.
I can only assume, but does this mean you'll be potentially starring in the Alabama Beavers documentary that's hinted to be released in May of 2025?
I really wouldn't know about that. They just mic'd me up and pretty much they wanted me to have some fun with. I think that was our second little trial slash workout. So yeah, they really haven't mentioned that. Like I said, that was kind of like behind closed doors too. So haven't been really giving us all the information. Of course, they don't want it out there. So, but if it is, I'll be blessed to be in that for sure.
Without even knowing it, this could be your big break for a potential career in front of the camera, man. The big screen, so to
Yeah, yeah, might be right about that.
yeah, you just never know. But it's
Yeah.
sometimes it could be just easier to catch, communication, how things are being
Mhm.
relayed. But I do know they hinted at a documentary is supposed to come out in May, so it'd
Gotcha.
be
Okay.
interesting if we'll see a bunch of that footage incorporated into that. So definitely, if anyone tuning in, keep your eyes out for the documentary. You might see Ivory being a star on the screen. So, just a few days ago, you essentially alluded to this already. You visited a school.
Yes, yes, I did.
You rocked that sharp black and orange Beavers jersey.
Yes, I did. Uniforms are nice. Definitely loving them.
Yeah, so we've seen pictures of some teams kind of hitting it. Not all the teams have gotten out what they look like, but it's nice to see it. The Chihuahua Rebellion there have had it
Mhm.
on in some of in their press conferences and whatnot, and it's kind of good to see that you were rocking it, to see it kind of come to life a little bit. Um,
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
it makes things a little bit more real, I think, when the jersey comes out, doesn't it?
It does.
The
It
player,
definitely
I
does.
know it always does, but I
Hmm.
think even for fans that are looking to tune in, that's when, okay, this is a startup. Everyone can make, potential mock-ups and try to
Graphics and
get in.
everything.
But yeah, and also, but when somebody's actually wearing it,
Yeah,
in picture, and then you're out in front of people with it,
yeah.
that makes it become much more real. Um, can you share that experience at the elementary school that you're at, and how that kind of went? I know it's younger kids and whatnot, but it's always kind of a good opportunity to get back into the community.
Yeah, so pretty much I went in and I just talked to them about just never giving up on your dreams, no matter what. You'll always have obstacles in life, and you just keep it pushing, no matter what someone says or that you can't do or what you won't be. And I pretty much just told them like I was that little kid, a short dude coming out of Jacksonville, Florida, and people told me what I couldn't do, and I definitely proved them wrong, and I'm still doing it, proving people wrong. So that was pretty much a good thing that I wanted to do for the kids. I love giving back to the community, and I went outside, tossed a few, played around with them, some footballs and everything, and signed some autographs, took some pictures. But it was a great experience, and I'm just glad that they loved it. And that team, that school, that pretty much that class will be at our first game actually. So I was just happy to see their smiles on their faces and just bring joy to the whole community and to those kids.
It's I think it's very important. We've seen these two leagues, the USFL, XFL. I know
Mm-hmm.
even now as the United Football League, they're not really rooted in their communities. They were, the one was playing in a true hub setting for a full year, only in one market, and the teams are just playing essentially with their namesakes. And then eventually they opened up to a couple, but not all the teams were still playing there in their market. And the XFL was playing essentially out of their individual cities, but they're flying back and forth to Arlington, Texas. So they weren't there for all of this opportunity. I mean, is there a lot more opportunity of doing this? I mean, is this more of a regular thing? Has that kind of been the one and only at this moment? Because I think it's important for, a community to kind of get the sense of, yeah, we got a pro team here. Huntsville, it has D1.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, they don't have pro football. Now they have it. So I just wonder what that's going to take, because the stadium looks pretty cool, man. Now you got to
Yes,
get
it does.
front in the
It's a
seats,
beautiful
man.
stadium. Yes, it's a beautiful stadium. Joe Davis, beautiful stadium. I definitely love it. But we definitely plan on getting out more in the community and doing these more frequently, probably like twice a week, and just going out to restaurants, pretty much, greeting meets, pretty much, and just with the team and the staff, and just letting everyone know that, hey, Huntsville has a pro football team. And like you mentioned before, when you seen the jersey, it was kind of like, okay, this is real. And I kind of felt that same way when I was like, okay, boom, we got a jersey. So like I said, taking it day by day. If you look at it, it's a new league, so everything's, of course, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to take time, and that's just having faith in what you believe in, and what you're doing. So, like I told the coach, I'm willing to get out and there and be with the community, whatever we need to do. But we definitely want to bring a lot more to Huntsville and just let them know that we have a professional football team here. And we're willing to get them involved in everything and anything that we need to do, because without the fans, there's no Alabama Beavers. So that's the main thing. And that's something that we definitely want to hold accountable.
Fans are the root of anything. But
Yeah.
when you're a startup, something that's fresh, something that's new,
Mm-hmm.
not only a new league, but some of the teams are brand new that, they didn't necessarily exist in the semi-pro ranks, the arena ranks, wherever they come from. Because, we have a really interesting mix here with the
Mm-hmm.
idea of where ownership groups and teams are coming from. Fresh, new, like here we got Alabama Beavers. And
Yeah.
it is going to be very important from day one. It's a very shortened season. It's what, 7 teams. We have seven teams that have been
17.
announced.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule just came out, like you said. So we know that they're looking for other opportunities for season 2, but we are ways off from season 1. So it is kind of now or never. And like you said, there's a lot of time, and that's, you know, there's a lot that needs to be done, but
Mm-hmm.
it's already refreshing to see you at a school
Mm-hmm.
donning the
See it
team
out there.
jersey,
Yeah, it's
because
progress.
we didn't get to see that with some other leagues that whether
Mm-hmm.
they're playing right now, that played their own seasons individually before they came together, still don't really see a whole lot of that. And so I
Mm-hmm.
mean that's really refreshing that you know so far in advance that's already started. That started before the schedule came out. I just think it's very refreshing. So kudos to you and your organization for doing that. And obviously you guys I think are the flag bearer in doing that, because I haven't seen that everywhere else. I mean, I've seen some talking
Mm-hmm.
arrangements, engagements there for some coaches, owners and coaches, but for the most part, it's kind of cool to start seeing a player out there, especially with a jersey, not just a t-shirt or hat, but jersey. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what now, right? Is there another series of mini camps yet to still happen? I mean, I'm assuming that's probably going to be the thing for a while. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
is that kind of the the gist of it for the time being until we get to the draft?
Yeah, so pretty much right now we're just having meetings, and just getting to know Bond and with the team, and just going over the culture of the Alabama Beavers and everything. We have a mini camp in February. It'll be 3 days, and then we will come back and start the season May, and we start to have the first game May 31st. So right now it's kind of dead period with the working outs and trials and everything. So it's just a lot of meeting going on. And then, like I said, mini camp in February. And then you also have the draft. So that's pretty much what's going on right now.
Well, it's part of it, right? You got to do what you got to do.
It is.
It's not the sexy or cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's this. Yeah, you got to start someplace. You kind of got to get through it. But I mean,
Exactly.
So what can fans expect, do you think? I mean, I know that this is just maybe you don't know. I mean, what do you think fans can expect? We got a schedule out now that just came out essentially on Halloween. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, what do you think is next? I mean, are we gonna get to be able to get access to some merch? I mean, it's nice to see that jersey out there, like maybe some hats, tees. I mean, could you put a word in for
Yeah. So
at least me? If we can't get it on a website to buy, could you get me in linked with someone and be like, hey, that jersey looks pretty good? And I mean, I didn't even think the Baltimore Lightning's that B
yeah,
logo on a hat looks hot, but no one's got anything. So I mean,
yeah.
maybe influence there, Ivory.
Yeah, so right now I can only speak for, of course, the Beavers, but I know that we have the jersey sales going on, and a lot of people have been buying those jersey sales for the fans. So I know for sure that's something that we are doing. I don't know
Did I
about
miss it online?
it's still online, so
Oh, I
you can
must have missed it. Man, I didn't
yeah,
think it was happening.
yeah, so you can go on alabamabeavers.com, and yeah, we have jerseys up there and VIP tickets also.
I did see
So
that.
yeah, so we have a lot of that stuff going on, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that the merch literally just got probably in. I want to say probably like last week. So
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah, so it's a lot of things going on. Like I said, I know we just haven't been, I guess, putting everything out there. Like I said, take it day by day, pretty much progress. You don't want to put everything out there and then people's like, okay, everything's out there now that they're waiting for the season. So we're just going to keep giving people a sneak peek of everything every week so you can still have something to be excited about. And I think that's the main thing about it. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hey, I learned something new today because I did not see. I did see
Yeah.
that the Beavers have been doing very well
Mm-hmm.
with the VIP, and I think
Mm-hmm.
they're doing different types of packages for like different
Mm-hmm.
suites and stuff around the stadium every
Correct.
while. So I know that, when I use the term, flag bearer, I'm not trying to be funny or anything. I really think Alabama Stadium, compared to what I've seen a lot of the other stadiums, it's not this mammoth stadium, and it doesn't need to be for spring football. I mean, it's being grounded. Why play in a 60, 70,000 seat stadium when
Exactly.
most teams are not pulling 20 to begin with? So, I mean, why not be realistic? Year one, year two, playing up
Mhm.
this venue seems to be perfect for getting started out, but they seem to be already ahead of it with the different type of suite packages and VIP things. So, I mean, I'm very encouraged. Now I'm even more so, believing the flag bearer thing because of the merch. So now that that's kind of hit, and it's a must. I think, sometimes, I keep mentioning the other leagues or now combined league, but they missed the boat on that. They, sometimes before the startup of the season, maybe you could get only like league centric things this
Yeah. Hmm.
Black Friday, and then even throughout Christmas. So, I mean, like now is an opportunity to get that and take advantage of it, because if people want it, the new thing, it's
Hmm.
time to do it and kind of build that fan base. So no, that's definitely encouraging. That's exactly what I think needs to happen. That's what I think a lot of people in the space are always waiting for these new leagues to have, do. And the schedule being out so far in advance already now just makes life a little bit easier. People can start,
Yeah.
plan their weekends ahead of time. I mean, I know I'm no different with my wife trying to take a look at, okay, what are we going to do? There's only so much vacation,
Yeah.
and we got family. We live in Florida. Both of our families live up in New York. You got to
Hmm.
coordinate things like that, so that's not an easy travel. I mean, you could fly, but we tend to drive because we bring our dogs with us. So it's like I get it, and if anyone wants to start attending games, especially leagues that don't have teams like the NFL everywhere, that
Hmm.
you want to support these leagues. I know Tampa's gonna be close to us, so that's something we'll have the opportunity to do. But it'd be cool to get up to Huntsville and stuff because I
Yeah.
live in Southwest Florida.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
it'd be a hike. We're still 2+ hours to Tampa, but it'd be kind of cool to go
Yeah.
check. Maybe that's the road trip for the very first game. Maybe something to do like that. But I mean, I think it's important because now you're so far out ahead of it that people could really
Hmm.
start to plan things, and
Exactly.
it's huge. And I know you guys want to play in front of people. I
Yeah.
know
Definitely. Definitely
I know what it's like a
that.
player. You can
Yeah.
play a game and still perform pretty well with few
Yeah.
people. But the more the crowd gets behind you, I know it's a cool thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely that.
Just need to get some number 9 jerseys on the people.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Right? That's what you need, right? I mean, are you locked in at 9? I know they were starting to throw little numbers out there. You're wearing the 9
Yeah. I'm locked in at number 9. Yep,
There
I
you go.
definitely.
I mean, that is your number from college, right?
Yes, it is. So that's perfect. Definitely.
There you go. Well, you're going to be carrying the flag for a bunch of Division II players.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's a lot of talent in D2. I definitely would say that a lot of people get missed just because of the school they go to, or even like the small pro days that we have. But it's definitely a lot of talent in D2, and a lot of guys definitely made it from D2. So I'm happy that they're leading the way, and I'm just trying to come back and follow them pretty much.
So, I mean, before we wrap up, I'm not going to want to take up too much of your time. The one interesting thing I think that really separates the International Football Alliance from the United Football League, Canadian Football League, National Football League, whoever you want to talk about. This is going to be a very interesting league with the roster limitations being set really strict on American players and then
Mm-hmm.
having an international aspect to it.
Yeah.
And seeing some of the announcements coming through, and we know there's going to be a team in Mexico, as I had mentioned previously with Chihuahua Rebellion. So, I mean, this is going to be interesting. I mean, are you ready for it? I mean, have you seen a lot of very high end international talent? Because I mean, we see it with the ELF. I mean, so it just seems like this
Yeah.
would be interesting to see on like home soil, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm I'm interested in seeing the talent. I haven't seen that much. Not knocking the talent over there at all, but I just haven't. I would say personally, haven't seen the talent over there. But I'm pretty sure that the team is going to be great and they're going to have a ton of talent. But I'm just definitely interested to see, just like you.
You
Yeah.
know, I think watching football is
Hmm.
primary way tuning in, but to tune in to see something a little bit different. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't seen that here. Team from Mexico, maybe more teams in the future, but talent from everywhere. I mean, we see
Yeah. Definitely.
there's
Definitely.
talent from the Congo or Nigeria already signed with the San Antonio team and stuff like that. So I mean,
Mhm.
it's definitely going to be something. I know the NFL has its pathway program, but this is going to be different. There's going to be guaranteed roster spots around the active roster
Yeah.
week. So I mean, this is going to definitely be an interesting thing. And I know the rosters are not 53 players like the National
Hmm.
Football. You're probably going to be in the 40s. So I mean, you're
Yeah.
going to utilize everybody anyway. So that's where
Exactly.
you're not going to hide it. Saying not
Yeah.
every foreign player could be a kicker or punter. So it's like they're going to be on the field, and that's going to be
Yeah.
very interesting. Well, Ivory, is there anything else that you feel you should share that I'm missing here? I'm sure I'm missing a lot, but I mean, is there anything you think that's very important before, I let you go?
No, I don't think so. I think you hit it on every point. I'm just excited, like I said, excited for the season, excited for the opportunity. And I just feel like it's going to be a great league for everyone just to show off what they can actually do and get back to the next level. And I think that's with a lot of these coaches that I'm seeing with the different teams that they want pretty much their players to it's like one and done, pretty much one and get back to the UFL or NFL or CFL or whatever. And I think that's something that's big, and I think that's going to help everyone around the whole league.
Well, Ivory, your time is much appreciated as always.
Yes,
It has
sir.
been a pleasure having you back on the show and sharing your opportunity with the IFA's Alabama Beavers. I believe two appearances now officially make you, especially with the first ever video cast, an official
Gotcha.
friend of the show. All right. So with
I'm gonna have
that,
to get to a jersey, man.
hey, you don't owe me anything, but hey, I'll take
I have to
anything.
get to a jersey, man. Yeah, for sure, definitely.
But so you have an open invitation moving forward. Anytime you're interested and you want to come back and just provide us with some updates, I will be appreciative of it. I'm pretty certain my listeners will as well.
Gotcha, definitely will. Appreciate
So
you for having me.
oh, you're welcome. Wish you the best of health and luck, my friend, as you prepare for training camp and you know approach this new journey with the upcoming season with the IFA.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before you go, if you don't mind, why don't you take a moment and remind our listeners where they can find you on social media, follow you, as well as your new Alabama Beavers journey.
You can find me on Twitter at Ivory Durham IV, and you can find me on Instagram at Mr. _Hollywood. And play quarterback for the Alabama Beavers and Alabama Huntsville.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Ivory.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day.
You as well. I am truly blessed to be able to do what I do, and I am grateful to once again have a sit down with Ivory to catch up. New leagues and teams can be very tricky, but for some reason, the IFA's Alabama Beavers appears to be an intriguing opportunity. The situation in Huntsville seems to be decent, and it's good to see him excited about and submerged in this Beavers endeavor. If you're not aware or familiar with the International Football Alliance, I recommend you take a moment to visit their website, which is just ifa.football. While you're at it, you might as well follow the league and team social media accounts. The league is set to kick off on May 31st in Alabama with 7 teams, which are the Baltimore Lightning, Chihuahua Rebellion, Dallas Pineros, Ohio Valley Ironmen, and I'll probably butcher this one, the San Antonio Calaberos, Tampa Bay Tornadoes, and of course, as I previously mentioned, the Alabama Beavers. Each team is based and will be playing home games in their respective markets. Very different than what we've seen from other leagues in this space. Without dragging it out, that will do it for this week. I appreciate those of you who have tuned in this week and look forward to having you all return next week for an all-new episode. And like I said, things are just changing. So bear with me as we get into this new video casting space, and together we'll grow. So catch you next time.
Thank you for tuning into today's show. You can support the show and our partners by using code PLAYER54 at checkout at any of the following websites: RoyalRetros.com, where you can save 15%, TrueVictory.com, where you can save 15%, BuckedUp.com, where you can save 20%, ImpactMouthguards.com, where you can save 10%, HobbyArmor.com, where you can save 5%, JustMeatJerky.com, where you can save 10%. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe and rate Player 54 Podcast on your platforms of choice. Do you have a question or topic you would like to have discussed on the show? Message us via social media or send an email to player54podcast@gmail.com.